What's up, everyone? This is the An Idiot's Guide to Sports Fandom. Almost forgot the name of our own show. Episode number 2. And this is going to be our big baseball episode, too. We got a special guest, Cody Decker, coming on a little bit later. We're going to be going over the our NL and AL picks. Got yours right there. I got mine right here.
Yeah.
We're going to
Bravos, baby.
Our MVPs and our Cy Young winner, and also our underperformer of the year pick. That's a fun one. So we get
that is a fun one.
A player or a team. I think I have a team so far. And then obviously we're going to start off with the woman of the hour, Caitlin fucking Clark.
Caitlin Clark, man.
She is all-time leading scorer in NCAA history.
Awesome. Congratulations to Caitlin Clark.
Breaking Pete Maravich's record with staying.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. I also think it's kind of comical how insecure some of these male athletes are when it comes to it's so funny. They're really insecure and misogynist. It's hilarious because how it's not affecting you in any way, shape, or form. I mean, I don't understand why they're discounting what she's done. And then the one thing you sent me the other day is that she doesn't drive to the cup or anything. I don't know. I was watching some highlights and I see her. She shoots from all over the place. She's not just a pull-up shooter and stuff, man. Oh, what are you drinking this week?
So today, South Bend Brew.
Oh, nice. Logan's Irish.
Irish red. Irish ale. So
looks good, man.
I bought this. I had this the other day before the Notre Dame men's basketball game. I stopped over at South Bend Brew Works in South Bend, Indiana. Had that amazing beer because they just released it. So why not? I bought a freaking 4-pack and brought it home and good. Got it for St. Patrick's Day, so I'm all set.
Yeah, I think it's great. And again, congratulations to Caitlin Clark because she's turning pro too. So that's awesome, man.
So
she creates her own economy. These guys, I don't know what the problem is. Nobody else is doing. They're already selling tickets for the Indiana Fever or whatever their WNBA team because they have the number 1 pick. Their tickets already sold out, and they haven't even drafted her yet. So tell me how I don't stop clowning on this girl, man. Let her get her. It's ridiculous.
So you and I talked episode 1 about her staying in college. So what I heard is when she announced she was going pro, her NIL deals are going to all stay with her. And then she's going to then also get her money from playing with the WNBA.
Wow.
So obviously she's going to
Well, they don't make a lot of money in the WNBA, hence why Brittany Griner had to play overseas and some of the other players do because they don't get paid because, I'm not clowning on the WNBA. I actually think it's turning me on. I've watched more women's basketball in the last year plus than I've ever have because I think it's better. The NBA still doesn't move the needle for me. Like it used to. I know we talked about it before. Oh, real quick, too, I want to segue. I want to dedicate the show to Kevin McLean, my man, and his birthday is coming up, and his father passed, so he's in Jamaica. So I know he watches the show, and he's a fan of us and our Notre Dame show as well. He tunes in and always watches it. So, Kevin, this is for you, and, rest in power and, have a good service down there, and we miss you, and I can't wait to see you when you get back, so. Anyway, thank you for letting me do that. Well, we get that's why we're idiots. Hey,
you get sideswiped.
Yeah,
sideswiped. That's not
sideswiped.
Sideswiped. Another milestone we have to say. LeBron James passes hits 40,000.
Yeah, and I mean, is anybody ever going to get close to that? And are we going to celebrate when he gets to 41,000 every time they're going to stop the game and stuff? It's just like, okay, he got it. Like, cool. I'm not discounting anything from what LeBron did. It's amazing. That's going to be a record that nobody's going to touch. It's going to be like Gretzky's record. Like, they're just not going to touch it.
Well, you talk about Gretzky's record, and
is the dude close?
Ovechkin is right there.
Is he close? Ovechkin is?
With the goals.
With goals. Okay.
Yeah, not with the overall points. I think overall points, he's still
He's
ahead.
Just like way ahead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I mean, it's, early on in LeBron's career, I fell in love with LeBron when he beat the Warriors in that 16, the supposed best team ever. Bullshit. Don't even get me started on that. The Bulls would handle that team in 5.
So you and I were kind of talking off. LeBron James, 40 years old, man. He's still putting up 28, 7 and 7 on a nightly basis.
Yeah.
We wish Michael Jordan, and we both love Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
We wish Michael Jordan was able to handle that at that age. Obviously, he kind of started.
Well, then again, he played every game, though. These guys miss, 30 games a season now. So, I'm not discounting. I would not take anything away from LeBron because he played, this is a new thing with these prima donna basketball players now, that load management, whatever the fuck that means. Load management.
When you want a day off, you get a day off.
Yeah.
Play back-to-back games.
Gee, man, like walk a mile in our shoes or so, the common person's shoes. Like, not only are you getting paid an exorbitant amount of money, but then you only have to work half of your year or whatever. I wish I could do that in a normal fucking world, but whatever.
Really, there's not much. I mean, you got NBA's kind of winding down. You got the Celtics just blew a 20-point lead yesterday to the Cavaliers.
To the Cavs?
Yeah, that was they had 11 wins in a row. The Celtics did.
Yeah, I hope they win. I'd like to see the Celtics get it this year. I wouldn't be mad at that.
Men's college basketball, you got Purdue just won the Big Ten.
But everyone remembers what happened with them last year. They got beat by a 16 seed.
Exactly. You got South Carolina's women's basketball team undefeated this year.
Yeah, they're good. They're really good.
Notre Dame's women's team is ranked in the top 15.
Yep, we got a double bye. I think they ended up finishing second in the ACC. So go Lady
Irish.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Men's team.
Hannah Hidalgo is the shit, man. She is so good. I hope she wins Freshman of the Year. I don't see why she wouldn't. But there's that chick out at University of Spoiled Children, that Juju Watkins. I think she's really good.
She's pretty
yeah.
Men's Notre Dame men's basketball team actually has been strong the last couple weeks.
They're all right. They got trounced last night.
Yeah, they got
it was like 30 points.
Yeah.
They lost by. That team is not ready.
52.
That team is not even close to being ready. I mean, the ACC is weak as far as basketball is, if you ask me. I mean, they're not the typical powerhouse conference that they usually are year in and year out.
So there was a little something you wanted to kind of throw in there. Formula One.
Oh, yeah. I just want to, when we do our show, because we're not doing it weekly, but I'd like to just drop in because, it's Idiot's Guide to Sports Fandom, and I really like Formula One. So just a little bit of what's happened. We had the first race last weekend in Bahrain, and Max Verstappen doing the same thing he did last year. The guy he's in another world. We're watching, could be watching the greatest Formula One driver ever. He's already got 4, or no, he's working. He could win his 4th championship this year. And then he's only 3 from tying Michael Schumacher and Lewis Hamilton. So, but what I'm afraid of, though, is really exciting, but it's gained so much popularity in the States, and but if he dominates, it's kind of getting boring because he's that good, and he got the pole position, and he was in P1 position 1, and then he led the whole race. The whole start to wire to wire, and it's not, and I think he won by 2 laps or 1 lap. Yeah, I mean they're just dominating, and I have a feeling that Americans have ADHD when it comes to sports and whatnot, and they see this guy dominating all the momentum they've gained for fandom and popularity. I think they'll lose it because I really like the sport. So anyway, this weekend they're having a race. It's in Saudi Arabia, and if you want to watch something new or get into it, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun.
What channel?
Yeah, it's pretty easy to follow. All the races, the practices, and the races are usually on ESPN.
Okay.
Or Sky Sports. And the race, the Grand Prix, this Saturday. So I think at 10 a.m. because they're in Saudi Arabia. So it's at noon on the 9th. So yeah, check it out. If there's no football or whatnot, and I'm sure I don't know how many people are going to watch the UFL, the new Spring Football League.
Does that start this week?
Soon, I think.
Yeah,
I think March something.
March 22nd or 3rd or something.
So it's still a couple weeks away. But anyway, Formula One's awesome, and I'm just going to drop that in there, a little 5-minute quip, whenever there is. Yeah,
So we're going to take a little bit of a break here, quick break. And when we do come back, we're going to have our guest, and we're going to do our baseball preview. So we got Cody Decker, who's going to join.
Yo!
I got a fucking epic intro for him when he comes on.
Can't wait.
This guy is amazing. I worked with him on the BetQL network when he was the host of the Bet for the Cycle baseball show, former MLB player, and got some stories to tell with this guy. So we're going to have a fun little break, and then we're going to come back and have Cody. So stay right here on An Idiot's Guide to Sports Fandom show. Dennis Stover.
Yeah, and if I had it my way, I want to shave Sam Hartman's fucking head.
Come on.
I mean, for a cry eye. It's like, anyway. That's all there. Oh, it's beautiful hair. How about making a beautiful fucking pass against Clemson, you muppet?
Come on, Puss Arm can't get it there.
God, man. Him and Gerard Parker, aged me fucking 5 years with those idiots last year, man.
Fucking Dennis. All right, we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
All right.
What's up, everybody? We are back here on An Idiot's Guide to Sports Fandom, and we are doing our baseball segment now. And it's our preview show, and we got an amazing guest that is joining us today. He played
first guest on our new show.
Yeah, it's our first guest, second show, first guest, and probably the most epic one we'll have.
Yeah.
So he played baseball at UCLA. He was a 2009 San Diego Padres 22nd round draft pick. He was the 2009 Arizona League MVP, beating out future Hall of Famer Mike Trout.
No shit. Awesome.
I know you have that little plaque at your house.
It's literally upstairs, bro. Come on.
I've seen it.
That's awesome, man.
Times. So he played for the Israel national baseball team in the qualifying rounds of the 2013 and 2017 World Baseball Classic. Get all that out. Holy shit.
Nice.
Currently hosts Bet for the Cycle on the BetQL network. Also has teamed up with Beadle and Decker with Michelle Beadle, a sport show that can be heard Monday through Friday, noon to 3 on the Mad Dog Sports Radio Channel 82 on Sirius XM Radio. As you see right there, welcome Cody Decker.
Yo, what an intro. By the way, not just the qualifier in 2017, though. Actually, we're in the tournament. We actually won our first bracket, went all the way to Japan, and we're one win away from going to Dodger Stadium. And I'm not going to lie to you, to this day, doesn't sit well with me because that game we lost was to the Netherlands, a team we already beat, Jair Jurgens faced us and shoved that game. And then 1 month later got popped for steroids. I never sat well with me to this day.
Wow. There should be an asterisk next to that then, Cody. Sorry, man.
See,
what are you going to do?
I never knew about you playing for the Israel team either, so that was pretty
rad.
Bringing that up.
Well, I'm not sure if you remember, we had a whole thing that was really, really popular during that thing called the Mensch on the Bench. We had a life-size Mensch on the bench. That was entirely me. Like, when I say entirely me, I mean, I got one, we won. The Mensch on the Bench people called me because their sales went up and sent me more Mensch on the Bench merch than I'll ever know what to do with. And now I still have a life-size Mensch on the Bench upstairs right now. I'm literally looking at it as we speak.
Was Kristen Yelich on that team?
No, Kristen Yelich was not. Although I growing up is a weird thing to say. I'm like 8 years older than him. But we trained together under Reggie Smith in Los Angeles. So I've known Kristen since he was like 8.
Fantastic. So that's awesome.
You've been known as a prankster. I've worked with you, like I said, with Bet for the Cycle. I've seen some shit with you already over the past couple of years. So I sent Dennis this video of your days with the El Paso team.
Mm-hmm.
What you did to one of our favorite players, Jeff Rancourt.
One of mine too.
Benchy.
So you gotta tell us a little bit about this story. It's called On Jeff Ears. You can see the whole 7-minute video on YouTube, so you can check that out. But Cody, tell us this little quick story on that.
Well, here's the thing, and I want to make this abundantly clear because I do feel bad a little, not a lot, just a little, because Jeff is very much in that film made to look a little bit like an idiot. And I want to make it abundantly clear. He is one. He knows he is one because there's no world he should have fallen for this. However, he's not the first to fall for it. It was the third time I had done that prank. So I just never did it to a more high profile guy. And I didn't let it get to an entire month the way I did with Jeff, to the point where, so basically what we told him was we were coming into the season and I had a teammate named Jorge Reyes. Jorge Reyes was a pitcher out of Oregon State. He'd been stuck in AAA with me for a couple of years. Great pitcher, great guy. And I remember Pat Murphy was our manager, and he comes up to Pat and I, because Pat and I at the time were very close, and we're not anymore because he doesn't currently need anything from me because he's the manager of the Milwaukee Brewers. And don't worry, the moment he's fired, and someday he will be, the first call he'll make is to me. It's what he always does. He doesn't need anything from me right now, so he doesn't return calls. But at the time, we were very, very close. And Jorge comes in and says to us, guys, listen, I know this is going to sound crazy, but I think I could be the deaf kid this year. And we look at him like, you? No, you can't be. He's like, guys, I have a different mentality this season. I just want to keep my head down and just work hard. And I truly think I can do this. I'm like, well, I did the prank last year, did it a couple years earlier. I don't think I'm going to do it again. And Murph's like, yeah, we're probably not going to do it. There's no candidates. And I get a phone call one day later from Pat Murphy. We're about to go play a game at the backfields for the AAA team affiliate for the Royals. And I get a phone call and said, hey, man, we just signed Jeff Francoeur. I said, oh, cool. Does that mean he's going to be getting my at-bats? Because I'm not cool with that. And he just starts laughing. He's like, no, he's going to play the outfield. Obviously, you'll be playing the infield, and that's not an issue. I'm like, okay, good. I can't wait to meet him. I'm a big fan. I love Jeff Francoeur. The natural from Sports Illustrated, please, inject into my veins.
That's right.
And then he calls me, and he's just like, no, Cody, I just spoke to him for like 20 minutes, and I'm not going to lie to you. I think we could do the death prank to him. I'm like, what? The Jeff Francoeur? The 10-year big leaguer with over 100 home runs in his major league career, the cover guy from Sports Illustrated, the guy who's won a Gold Glove and played in a World Series. There's no way he's going to fall for this. He's like, meet him and then talk to me. So I meet Jeff Francoeur at the field that day, and he just starts off and just comes up to me, and I swear to God, the work was already done for me from Pat. Murph already got it done for me, and that was the best part, because Murph knew I wasn't going to do it by myself this time, because I'm like, listen, I revere Jeff Francoeur. I'm not going to do this to this guy in his first, like, he's slumming it back in AAA for the first time ever. In fact, he'd never been in AAA, so he's sitting here coming back down to 3A to play with scrubs like me, and I'm just sitting there like, and I start talking to him, and Jeff goes, yeah, man, really fired up. Good to be here. Really. I know I've never been in 3A, so I'm kind of jazzed. And I look at him and I'm like, oh, that's great, man. It's a competitive team. You'll be back in the big leagues in no time. You'll get your 10 years and no problem. And he just goes, yeah. So I heard we got a deaf guy. And I just stared at him for a second, and I look over his shoulder, and Murph's back over here over his shoulder, and he just leans back, turns his head, and goes, and gives me the wink, and I look at him like, okay, I'm doing it. Murph kind of forced my hand. I said, yeah, man. Jorge Reyes played at Oregon State, great pitcher. Honestly, it's just normal life. It's no different. He just obviously doesn't really talk much. So he kind of just communicates pretty well. You'll get all hand gestures. I'm like, yeah, you'll get used to it like you wouldn't believe.
Oh my God. And the fact
3 weeks, 3 weeks later, I forgot we were still doing the prank. I didn't even put the things that were taking place during this whole time, I didn't even put in the film. Like, one time called him as a reporter with a British accent from the Deaf Times, and he didn't even fall. He didn't even get catch along on that. Every little detail was amazing. And here's the thing. The reason I made the film, one, I made a lot of films back then. And two, there was a game, and it's in the film. We were playing in Tacoma, Washington, AAA affiliate for the Seattle Mariners, and we've been doing this prank for 1 full month. And Frenchie comes in from the dugout because Jorge Reyes comes in with bases loaded, nobody out, and he strikes out the side. Huge moment. We're up by 1, and it's the 8th inning. We're coming in, just every swear word. We're like, let's fucking go. High fives everywhere, fist pumps. People are going nuts, but Jeff's running from right field. So Jeff doesn't hear Jorge going, let's fucking go. Yeah. And we're all fired up. And then Jeff runs in after all of that commotion, slams his glove at Jorge's feet, and just smacks him on the leg. He's like, great job. Way to go, buddy.
Amazing.
I sprinted out of the clubhouse into the locker room, which was connected. And in there already was Pat Murphy, my manager, and our pitching coach, Mike Cather, both doubled over on the floor laughing. And I couldn't laugh. I couldn't breathe. It was so funny to me that I thought I was having a heart attack. We end up winning the game. I get called in the office after the game because now there's a front office guy there, and he's like, "What's going on?" And Murph's like, "Cody, we got to end the prank." I'm like, "Okay." We can end the prank.
Wow, 3 weeks. That's pretty good.
No, at this point, we need to figure out how to end the prank. And Murph had a great suggestion, and we talked about it for a little bit. And this was Murph's idea, and we didn't do it because I'm pretty sure there's some legality issues to this, and someone would have gone to jail. But his idea was he wanted Jorge to pretend he got hit in the head by a fly ball during batting practice. We call an ambulance over, and we wanted us to all gather around, and all of a sudden, Jorge's talking to us and hearing us. We wanted Jeff to think it was a miracle.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
As much as I wanted to do that, I'm like, listen, hilarious. We can't call an ambulance. That's illegal. We probably can't do these other things. And I swear to God, we're going to lose the ending of the prank if we do this because there's no, as much as I make fun of him for being dumb, he ain't that dumb. Come on, man. So he just laughed. He's like, all right, so what do you suggest? I'm like, give me 5 days to a week. And I started editing together a film. I started interviewing all the players, started getting all the stories, started editing the film together. And then what we wanted to do was say, this is a mandated film for Major League Baseball. We all have to watch it about compliance. So we all sit in the clubhouse before the game, and I should run the video, unbeknownst to Jeff, that we all know, the whole team, all 24 other dudes know what we're about to watch, and they haven't seen it yet. We put it on there, and everybody gets their camera phones out, and we all film Frenchie as his reaction to this film takes place. And that's the ending of the film. The end credits is Jeff Rancour watching the film, and I'll never forget it. He just sits there and goes, this for real? We all lose it, and just goes, he looks at Jorge, he's like, say something, man. Say something right now. I want to hear your voice. He's like, I'm so sorry. Jeff's like, what is happening? It was just the best. And by the way, just so we're all clear, Jeff Rancour, one of the coolest, smartest, funniest guys. When I say smartest, baseball smart. He's great. He does a great job on his TBS broadcast. He's done a good job for the Braves broadcast, and also one of the nicest, coolest dudes ever. And if you think he's a hard feelings about this prank, not at all. He bought us all steaks the next night, like full spread. And man, Jeff Rancour, A+ human. I love him.
That's great.
Yeah, Rancour, baby. Thanks,
Frenchie. Always a Brave to me.
Braves legend, baby.
Yeah.
You know he had that minute with the Mets. Fuck the Mets.
Yeah, that's why I just said fuck the Mets.
I know you played. Didn't you play for the Mets too?
I did play for the Mets too, but you got to understand, I don't really think fuck any team at this point. I don't root for or against teams. I'm very kind of just like, I root for my friends. I root for good baseball.
Fair enough. Yeah.
You know, my last team, the last team I played for was the Diamondbacks. I find myself rooting for the Diamondbacks more than any other team, which I had a hell of an October last year. So I felt good about that.
Yeah, they pulled some rabbits out of their hat for that one. I don't know how they advanced.
You say that, but I was on MLB Network 3 weeks before the season started. Said, I see you all are sleeping on the Diamondbacks. Why are you guys doing that? They're like, Diamondbacks? They're in the division with the Dodgers. I'm like, they just got to get the playoffs, and they're going to go to the playoffs. You might want to start paying attention to them. As the season went on, I just kept showing up on off base with my hands crossed. I'm like, remember that time you sons of bitches didn't listen to me?
Hopefully you put money on that, though.
I didn't.
Damn you.
Such a fucking coward.
I think they'll fizzle this year. They won't have it. I think the West is going to be pretty strong. I think
so too, but I think they actually got stronger. So I'd watch out for the D-backs. Now the
Padres unloaded everything, so they're a fragment of what they once were.
But you still look at the Pods on paper.
They still have Tatis, right? Machado.
They got X. I mean, they still got a good. And if Joe Musgrove gets back to being Joe Musgrove, which I think he's going to be, I mean, I think they're still a contender out there. They ain't the Dodgers.
No,
the Dodgers.
Not many are. Not many are. Yeah.
And they lost.
That team is ridiculous.
Snell is still out there too, so that's kind of crazy.
Snell's out there. Montgomery's out. Hell, Montgomery just single-handedly won a World Series for Texas, and he's out there.
Doesn't make any sense. So we're going to get into our little preview right now. So we actually have, basically, I just want to talk about what happened last year with this. We're going on year 2 of the pitch clock in the bigger bases. Cody, I want to ask you, what do you see the changes with that? Was that good or bad to you?
Phenomenal. Every detail of it was phenomenal. Like, here's the thing, like, Rob Manfred gets a lot of hell, and a lot of it is deserved. And I think he even knows that a lot of it has been deserved. Calling the Commissioner's Trophy a piece of metal, every single CBA that's taken place between the players and the owners has been a disaster, because at the end of the day, as much as a Major League Baseball commissioner's job is to safeguard the game and grow the game, it is also more or less a glorified union head chief for the owners, which obviously he's been very good at. And he's also been very good about making baseball more money than it ever has. And he's also expanded the game more than it ever has. So though he's had some bumps in the road, ever since that last CBA was taken care of, which was one of the ugliest CBAs I've ever seen and been a part of which the owners had to give up quite a bit because their old playbook stopped working. They couldn't go out yelling, "Oh, these greedy players" anymore. It's because finally baseball fans started catching up. Wait a second, where is the money going? And they're like, "Oh, well, we can't tell you that." So that became a whole disaster. But after that, every single thing, every step Manfred has taken, with the exception of this last month with these awful jerseys and pants and trying to pretend they don't exist, is the weirdest thing ever. Really, everything he's touched has turned to gold. I mean, the World Baseball Classic is Rob Manfred's, and the World Baseball Classic is a success. This last World Baseball Classic was incredible. It was awesome. The National League DH, we've been sitting on it for 20 years. What have we been waiting for? Thank God we finally
There shouldn't be a DH.
Dennis doesn't like it.
Never. The DH should have been what it was supposed to be in the 70s, experimental and gone.
Couldn't disagree more. Could not disagree more.
There's no need in it, because pitchers are athletes too.
No, they're not.
And those guys rake. They rake in college.
No, they don't.
They hit in college. I mean,
I
see it. You played at UCLA. You know I'm right. You know.
I know you're wrong. I know for a fact you're wrong.
Those guys hit, man.
No, they do not.
Okay, well, I mean, they have DH too in college, but all those guys that pitch for LSU and whoever, they rake in college.
I can't stress this enough. Pitching is so specialized at this point that it's actually borderline unsafe, and I'll even say unreasonable to put a pitcher out there to actually face modern pitching, because this isn't the old days where guys, every team had one guy throwing 97 plus. Everybody throws 97 plus, and if a pitcher gets hit or a pitcher pulls an oblique running the bases, something they do not practice, or gets injured putting down a bunt, sticking their nose into 98.
That's because the game changed, and I don't want to say it evolved, but if it didn't go that way, we wouldn't have this conversation, because pitchers, chicks dig the long ball.
They do. They do.
I mean,
well, actually, they don't. I'm living proof that they.
Shohei Ohtani proves it. Shohei Ohtani proves.
No. Shohei Ohtani is an outlier of outliers of that. When I say percentage of, it's to the point where it's not even an outlier. Shohei Ohtani is one of one. There's never been another Shohei. There never will be again. You
don't know that because it's specialized. You don't know if that.
But I mean, because
you played, but you're a professional athlete, so you definitely have
since retiring, I have trained an outrageous amount of athletes, specifically pitchers, specifically position players. One, there's not enough time in the day. Two, there's not enough recovery available to actually do both. That's why Shohei Ohtani is such a ridiculous athlete, because he literally can do both. And trust me, there's been experiments to try to get other players to do both. The Angels had another experiment, I think it was with Walsh a few years ago, and that fell flat on its face. It became an actual experiment where a lot of teams were trying to discover two-way players, and none of them stuck, not even once, to the point where the only other two-way player I can even think of is Rick Ankiel, of which he was not two-way at the same time. It's just, at this point in this years of Major League Baseball, it has evolved to the point where, as much as I would love for a pitcher to go up there and be able to compete at the plate, and some can, like Madison Bumgarner was able to go up there and compete. Kershaw could occasionally go up there and compete. Who's the other one? Righty, very weird.
You said Baumgartner.
Yeah, the other one, the righty, Kansas City Royals, super weird.
Cueto? No.
Not Cueto. Was a Dodger for a bit, Angel for a bit. Diamondbacks signed a $200+ million contract with the D-backs. Goes back to the Royals to end out his career.
Greinke, no?
Greinke, thank you. It was Greinke.
Yeah.
Greinke could swing it too. But outside of that, it's come to the point where it's just not realistic. But that's why I like the National League DH so much, because honestly, the reason why it was such an annoying thing for so long was because Manfred and the owners wanted to use it as leverage for some reason in the CBA, of which they never were able to leverage it. So now that they finally gave the majority of the fans what they wanted, it has been successful. And then on top of that, shortening the bases basically with the size of the bases, fantastic idea. It leads itself to more stolen bases, obviously. The pitch clock, my God, thank God we got this. But there is a pitfall to the pitch clock that is going to lead to this season that I am worried about. And it's just one thing. And I think everybody
started happening at the end of last season where games started dragging a little bit and they started figuring out a way to work it more.
A little bit, but what I'm more worried about is what the teams are worried about, and that is workload on pitchers, because injuries for pitchers will spike up a little bit, especially when we get later in the year. Yeah, less time to recover, and I think a lot of teams are looking to go to more of a 6-man rotation just to supplement that a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if some other teams
6-man rotation.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised if other teams tried other interesting adopting of things. Hell, the Yankees right now have a good 6-man potential rotation, and they're still talking about adding Blake Snell.
Braves are right there too with that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're
the Braves have a solid 6.
They have a solid 5 with others in the minors that they could pull up.
I hope Sale can stay healthy. That'll give me a lot of hope. We'll see. He's injured a lot, but when he's on, he's on. That'll be nice. Cody. I'm a Bob Costas purist. I want to raise the mound, Bob Gibson height. Mm-hmm. I want to get rid of the DH. Just give me more double headers.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
These guys are getting paid way too much.
That's why you don't do
to not play the game like
Dennis. What Rob Manfred would have done to have you in his corner every time that last CBA was around. You could have just been his hype man in the back. And be like, yeah.
So now that I have to eat the DH, which I'm fine with. Okay, I've accepted it now because that's what to me that's and another thing I hate interleague play. I wish. It doesn't make any sense anymore.
I liked it at first. It ran its course, and now I wouldn't mind getting back to a National League, American League thing, and in 10 more years,
it means
we
something.
Do it again.
It's special. It means something. So I've come up with a different proposal to make the game more regional because now there is no American and National League. So what I've done, and this is just a hypothetical, but it's fun, is split it in half and made it East and a West, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what I've done is made a Southeast division in the East. So it would be the Braves, the Rays, the Marlins, the Orioles, and the Nationals. That's your Southeast division.
Mm-hmm.
And then your Northeast division would be Philly, Mets, Yankees, Red Sox, Blue Jays.
Okay, I don't like it. And I know you won't hate it. I can't have the Mets and the Yankees in the same division.
Well, the way I see it, because that's like a huge rivalry, and then you get that instead of the Mets and Braves 16 times, you get the Yankees and Mets 16 times. So then in the East Central, it'd be the Reds, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, the Tigers, and the Brewers. And then we go to the West Division or the West League, right? And it would be Cubs, Sox, Royals, Cardinals, and Twins. And then the Mountain Division would be the Astros, the A's, and Vegas, the Rangers, the Rockies, and the Diamondbacks. And then the West would just be Seattle and then the 4 California teams. It makes it super regional.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not to be silly or anything, but it would look good for baseball. How much carbon emissions and they cut down because they're not traveling. And nobody wants to see the Marlins play the Mariners. Like, well, the average fan, you're a pro. So, for Muppets like me, I don't need to see the Marlins and Mariners. I just think I just really like it. It makes more sense like this to me.
It does make sense. I have an issue with two teams in the same city facing off in the same division. I have an issue with the Cubs and the White Sox being in the same division. Are
the Royals and the Cardinals? Like, that's pretty rad.
That one I'm a little more okay with, just because there's a little more distance between the two.
Sure, but it's still the same state. But
can you show your little bracket?
Yeah, I mean, you can't really see it, but like,
I don't hate the idea, and I kind of appreciate the idea for what it is, because at least it's some outside the box thing. But here's the thing. This is the only thing I would push back on is I don't see baseball as regional anymore. In fact, Major League Baseball's trying to even get away from it being national.
Yeah, right. They've got games overseas now, right?
Yeah, they want baseball to be international. They want a team in Mexico. They want a team possibly.
Do you think that's a good idea?
Yes.
Yes.
Montreal, bring back the Expos.
I want the Expos back. I want.
Yeah, I'm fine with the Expos. I mean, I guess even Mexico City would be cool, but so cool. Playing overseas like London and then I guess it would really be a World Series at that point. But
well, here's what I think. This is honestly what I think. I think the NFL is going to be the beta test on this automatically, because I give it another 10, 15 years before, everyone says we're going to have a team in London. We're not going to have a team in London. We're going to have a division in Europe. That's why they're doing games in Germany.
In NFL?
Yeah. Eventually there's going to be, it might take 20 years, might take 30 years to get the full division, but at some point there's going to be a Europe division. And when that happens, I think it's going to happen in every other sport. You see how nationalized, internationalized men's basketball is at this point. I'm starting to wonder at some point they should do like a Champions League for the NBA, bring some of these Europa teams over.
Yeah. Wow. That's I never considered that, but I wonder if players would like that. I mean, could you imagine having an 8-hour flight to play a 3-game set?
It'll be tough. But you know how it goes. If the players could have a financial benefit to doing it, they'll do it. I would have just done it just to say I did it, so I can be like, because trust me, I played in the World Baseball Classic. I got to play in Korea and then Japan. I mean, one of my dreams was to play in Japan. I got to play in the Tokyo Dome against Japan.
So now, so aren't like Korea has a major league, professional league in Japan, right?
League.
Yeah, and wouldn't it make more sense to just kind of put them in the fold, because hell, Japan rocked the U.S. at the World Baseball Classic. That team is sick.
I'll go a step further. I'll go way further. They're better than us.
Okay, so should they just like gobble them up that way instead of trying to say, like, I don't know. That sounds fun to me. And then it's a real World Series.
Oh, yeah. No, I think that's what the idea of the World Baseball Classic is. I do think there is a future way down the road where every league kind of gets involved. And when I say every league, I mean, here's the thing. There is a very good and prominent Mexican league. In fact, there's two of them. There's the Summer League and the Winter League. The Winter League's a little more prestigious. And here's the only problem. The Mexican leagues and Major League Baseball kind of butt heads a lot. There's not a real friendly relationship there. There is a friendly relationship with Venezuela, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and Japan, and the KBO. And now with Baseball United kind of picking up over in Southern Asia and in the Middle East, who knows what this looks like in 15 years? We could eventually look at a thing where maybe the World Baseball Classic is a yearly type of thing. Maybe the World Baseball Classic becomes the World Series.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think, because like you just said, I mean, those you said yourself, those teams are better. Some of those Korean and Japanese teams they're awesome. I mean, they play the game the way it should be played. They're passionate. It's I'm sure it's wonderful to watch.
It's different. Playing. I played in Venezuela. I played in Mexico. I've had the luxury of playing in all these places, and seeing like the fervor around it is different than in the States. Like you go down to Mexico, it sounds like you're at a soccer game.
Man, it's that so cool.
Yeah, you got a whole 30 people that are bringing instruments, playing as a band together up in the stands. It's something else.
Like,
what do you think happened in America? Like with the pop,
baseball does that.
Man, I mean, America just doesn't. It's definitely not the American pastime, national pastime anymore. I mean, football has taken over.
It has, but the truth is, Major League Baseball's never been more profitable, and the ratings are doing okay. Not the World Series was down, but that was more had to do with
the teams. There's garbage teams, Rangers and Diamondbacks. They've lost their major markets on the coast.
But you do that, and then you see how the Dodgers and the Yankees respond. They go out and spend $1.5 billion as franchises, and everyone should shut up and be happy.
Yeah, I mean, I think of a lot of other things that money could go towards, but I digress. It's kind of ridiculous. I mean, do you think the Dodgers are gonna make a run?
I do. I think the Dodgers. I'm going full chalk. I'm going Dodger-Yankee World Series. I want the like it's 1979.
I was just gonna say let's run into our picks.
That'd be kind of cool. I mean, that would be. I'm sure that's what the country would like. I mean, I would definitely be going for the Dodgers because I cannot stand the Yankees. But
man, I mean, I'm looking at that shirt you're wearing right now. It's not out of the question because they are just as good as the Dodgers.
They're right there. I mean, I'd like to think that it would be them and the Dodgers in the NLCS.
I would like that too.
That would be great baseball. I think baseball would like that too because I think not that it was fine or whatever, and it's a great story for Texas and Arizona, but they wanted bigger market teams.
Oh yeah, they wanted Philly, they wanted Atlanta, they wanted LA, they wanted, and the Yankees not making the playoffs is a disaster.
That hurt.
There is no world where the Yankees shouldn't be in the playoffs ever.
Yeah.
So,
do you like the Yankees?
No.
Yeah, good.
But I don't dislike them.
Right.
So Cody,
gotta respect what they're doing.
For 2024, you have Yankees and Dodgers in the World Series.
I know it's chalky. I know it's chalky. I know it's boring, but let's be real clear, man. I have never been alive. I grew up in LA. I grew up a massive Dodger fan. Now, I'm not a Dodger fan anymore. I could care less if they win or lose. But the truth is, I'd like to see them win because I have never seen a Dodger-Yankee World Series, and I grew up hearing nothing but anything but Dodgers versus Yankee World Series is what baseball's about. I want to see it for my own eyes.
Yeah. I was barely alive when they played in the World Series, so there you
81.
go. Yeah. Dennis, who do you got for your AL NL winners?
AL, I mean, the Yankees, it's hard to go against them because what they've done. I really like to think that the Orioles are still going to be right there because they're taking a page out of what the Braves do and develop and got that farm system rolling and a bunch of young studs. Like Boston, I wonder what Boston's going to do this year.
Me too.
Because it could be one of those years where they come out. It's like that Boston year where here come the Red Sox out of nowhere. Nobody thought the Orioles were going to do shit last year. So, I mean, the Rangers, they're probably going to be pretty strong again. No, they retained everybody. Boy, it's hard to pick. I'll go. And I'm going to be a homer and take the Braves just because I mean, it's either them or the Dodgers. So
it's really not a bad pick.
Yeah, I hate being homer, but
no, you don't.
I got some. I'm mad too because Philly 2 years in a row, man. Fuck that.
Yeah.
God, first round, get out. And
they're good though.
No, they're great. They're great. It's amazing they fired Girardi and then they just make a run. It's something else. AL. Boy, that's a tough one. Yeah, you know what? Probably the Yankees. I mean, I don't know who else right now. And it's such a long season. You never know. Teams start out so strong and then they fade after the All-Star break, or teams come on like with 2 months to go and then they're, playing lights out. And the next thing you know, they make a run to the World Series. So
I got a lot of reason about the Yankees though. I know the pitching staff is ridiculous. I know everybody can see what the pitching staff is. If they stay remotely healthy, we're talking about a situation where Marcus Stroman is anywhere between their 3 or 5 starter. Like, that's ridiculous. And if you throw a Blake Snell in there and they do grab him, that's the best assembled pitching staff I've ever seen.
That's going to be hard to beat.
Granted, it means they got to stay healthy, and that'd be great. But the other thing is that Juan Soto deal. Dude, I think he's going to win the MVP this year. I know that's ridiculous to say on March 6th, but here's the deal. Juan Soto last year had 107 RBIs. He hit just around 300. He had nearly 30 home runs. His on-base percentage was through the roof. His OPS through the roof. And here's the biggest thing, and this is the biggest thing for the Yankees. He played all 162 games.
Yeah, he plays. I mean, he played when he was on the Nationals, and I don't think he missed any time when he was on the Padres. The guy plays.
And if he plays 162 in the Bronx, watch out.
Goodbye, Stanton.
Yeah. Stanton's
talk about a bum.
He's such a sweetheart.
I'm going to throw in
I'm sure he's a great guy. So I'm saying these things and they're your friends. I should watch my
That's all right. I mean, I'd like him to stay healthy too.
It's just like he did. He was all world in Miami, and then the Yankees get him, and he hasn't been anything.
You know what's funny is he hasn't been what he was in Miami, obviously, but the guy has been a consistent 30 home run hitter each year, with the exception of 1 year where he missed the majority of the season. But outside of that, I mean, surprisingly, if you really just look at his numbers, he's actually played a lot better than I think a lot of people give him credit for. But we can't deny the amount of time he has been down.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing with base. It seems like I don't know. I was very happy to see all those guys for the Braves make it through the year. Because, there's always that. Well, the pitching staff was a little shoddy, but I hope the injury bug doesn't get us this year. That's what worries me. It's like we got this loaded team, and it's like we're going to be one of those years where, Acuna goes down and it's like, oh, great, some shit like that.
Yeah, the only thing I'd like to, the thing that really got you guys last year and got the Dodgers last year, and seems to be getting everybody, I think they do need to make an adjustment to the playoff structure. I'm not sure this bye is something that's good for them.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. The teams are so hot, and then you sit for 7 days.
It's tricky.
You're ready to go home. I'm ready to just watch TV,
It's tricky.
Yeah, right. That's got it. Yeah.
You got your guys' picks for AL, NL.
What about you?
Do the MVPs in a second. I know Dennis already did his. My NL winner is Atlanta. My AL winner will be the Orioles.
Nice.
My up-and-comer, though, I have Toronto kind of right there.
Ooh.
So that's who I'm looking at. But I have the Braves winning the World Series. I just gotta. I'm gonna own it and homer it up. I'm gonna go with Braves. My NL and AL MVPs, I got Acuna Jr. taking 2 in a row. And I got Alvarez from Houston being the AL MVP.
Interesting. I like that pick. That's actually a damn good pick. My up-and-coming team, I forgot to mention that to you. Probably crazy now. Watch out for the Reds.
I have them in the NL. That was my other one.
That was going to be my second one. Mine is Pittsburgh.
That team is loaded with young guys.
That Ellie De La Cruz, man. Woo! Yeah. He's electric.
I think they're going to be sneaky, and I thought that pickup of Candelario that the Cubs foolishly didn't re-sign him. Dude, I think they're going to be sneaky good, and that's a winnable division, both in the AL and the NL. Yeah. So it's going to be a very interesting year in the Central.
Dennis, why is the Central always so crappy?
They never spend money.
Yeah, it's okay.
No one spends money.
There's such crappy divisions.
I mean, the only
makes sense though.
Yeah, the only team that spends money is the Twins, and they somehow don't win anyway. So it's the weirdest thing.
Well, the Tigers do, but then they put the money on Javier Baez, who is 0 for fucking 12 in the preseason so far.
That was a tough
6 strikeouts. Dennis, who are your MVPs and Cy Young winners? I'd have to
Cy Young. Ooh, oh boy. Man, that's tough.
All right.
MVP, go. I gotta think about it.
Cody,
Cy Young, National League. I'm gonna go with Zach Wheeler, and I'm not far behind him. I'm also looking at Zach Gallen out of the Arizona Diamondbacks, who should have won it last year if he didn't have a bad couple of starts to end his season. Zach Gallen is a killer, and he's gonna rack up another 230 strikeouts like it's nothing. In the AL, I mean, it's damn chalky to go with Cole again, but here's the thing why I'm going with Cole. Cole never misses a start. Cole pitches, and he gets out there and he Ks 10 a game. It's hard not to pick Garrett Cole, even though he may not be the best pitcher in the American League. He's definitely one of the top 3, but the other 2 don't make as many starts as Cole does.
And I'm going to go. My NL Cy Young is going to be Strider, who's going to get another 200.
I was going to say that too. I mean, he was right there until he faded out a little bit at the end.
Had a couple bad
because he was in the running for Cy Young.
Dude's a monster.
My
he is
Framber Valdez of Houston.
Not a terrible pick, dude. I'm telling you. I mean, last year you could say
couldn't go. With Cole.
You could say Valdez took a step back last year, but that's only because the year before he set a record for most quality starts in a season. I mean, the guy's a monster as well.
Good pick. Also have Verlander's coming back with Houston too, so
he's not on opening day roster.
He'll be hurt.
He's
hurt. He's on IL or some shit for the start.
There's a couple.
I saw that yesterday. Wheeler's a good one because he's gonna. You know what? A dark horse could be again being Homer, but he's in a contract year. Fried could pitch if he stays healthy and gets what he used to have a couple years ago. Man, he can have a really good year.
Oh, I'm not doubting the arm at all of Max Fried.
As long as he gets help.
Yeah. Max Fried, you want to get a kid I've known since he was 5. It's Max Fried.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. I used to babysit him. I played with his older brother, and he used to live with me during spring training because we were both with the Padres for a little time. And Max is ungodly talented, but it's all about one thing with Max. You know what he's going to do when he's on that mound. He's just got to be healthy, man. If he can stay healthy all season, I think that's a hell of a pick for Cy Young. In fact, I took a flyer on him on Cy Young last year until he got hurt kind of early.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I hope Smith Shawver does something. I mean, he's supposed to, he's up there at top 50 prospect. I know he's in the top 100 prospect, but I'd really like to see him come. I mean, he's 21. It'd be nice to see him do some things.
Dennis, who did you have your Cy Youngs? Did you get that?
Yeah, American League. I don't know. I might double up with Cody again, just because I hate saying it, but the Yankees they might actually make a run. I mean, the only thing that's gonna hold them up is the Yankees. They were supposed to, what was it, a couple years ago? They had that big lead and they blew it, and they should have been there a couple years. They're always picked to win, but they kind of farted out. I mean, is Boone? I'm glad they haven't fired Boone, because that's always a knee jerk reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Is to fire Boone, but Boone's a good manager. I mean,
he is.
He just can't get over the hump. Like, it's, I don't know if it's them not performing but it would be hard to go against Cole. I mean, and what if Snell isn't on a team right now. He's still on the Padres. He's just floating, right?
He's a free agent at the moment.
Yeah, he's just sitting there floating. I can't believe nobody's signed that guy yet.
I don't know what price he's commanding, but it's got to be high if no one's touching it and no one's even negotiating with him at the moment. But as a guy I forgot to mention, and I'm actually mad at myself for not mentioning it. You mentioned the Orioles, Corbin Burns. Corbin Burns, he's going to be a finalist no matter what he does.
Crazy.
And dude, it's 430 feet to left center field in that ballpark.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
They got him for basically nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah. Orioles.
Little category I came up with. We're going to do our underperformer of the year, player or team. I'll go first on this one. I'm saying the Diamondbacks are taking a step back, and same with Pete Alonso.
Oh, Pete Alonso.
I gotta fuck the Mets. He just
yeah.
Cody, do you want to go next? You got one?
Man, I think the Brewers are taking a massive step back this season.
Oh yeah.
I think they're going to now, I don't think they're going to be blown out of their division. I don't think anybody's going to be blown out of their division. That might be a division where everybody's in it all the way at the end. But I think there's a good chance, because I'm looking at their roster, and unless that rookie that they just paid a lot of money to really is the truth that they're telling us, I look at their roster, and it's not as good as the Cubs, even though I still don't believe in the Cubs. It's not as good as the Cardinals, and I don't believe in the Cardinals. Pirates intrigue me, but I still think they're 2 years away. And the Reds are very interesting.
Right, yeah.
They can take the Central easily. I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Need the pitching to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis, last one.
I'm going to say the Cubs are going to – the Cubs will take a step back, because that is my least favorite team of all time, the Chicago Cubs.
Even though
and I'm from Chicago, but you talk about just everything about that whole organization and team and the fans just drive me insane. Blaming a cat and blaming Bartman and this, that, and the other, Yeah, I think the Cubs are going to take a step back, because, hell, I mean, they were right there. What was it? 3 games left or something like that, or a couple games, and then they shit the bed, and I was loving it, and then they didn't make the playoffs. They should have. Team or player, I don't know. My MVP, I'm going to have Betts. I didn't pick MVP, so I say Mookie Betts.
Good pick.
Or Freeman. I mean, those guys, it was like Acuna, Freeman, and Betts were like right there. It was like, take a pick, because you wouldn't have been wrong on picking any of them. But what Acuna did was set 40 and 70 is just ridiculous.
I know I told poor Cody 15 to 20 minutes. We've gone a little bit longer than that.
Sorry, Cody.
Dude, I wasn't doing anything anyways. I just got back from the gym.
But
it's great.
Dude, it's been awesome having you on the show. This has been fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's been really great.
Being able to see you again, talk to you bullshit, and actually have you on my show, not me working on your show. So
about time.
No, right? Fuck.
About damn time.
And see what you can do, Cody, about my proposal for the realignment, man. We'll work on that. Again, you like it. You're intrigued a little bit.
I am. No, I'm intrigued. No.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, there's nothing about. I'm definitely not shitting on it. I'm not looking at going like, oh, this is dog shit. Not at all.
Right.
I actually think it's kind of cool. Except I don't know. I kind of want them to revert back to National and American League and give us that for like.
I'm definitely behind that.
It's one of those things where if they did that for like 5 years, it would actually create demand for wanting more interleague play. But I also kind of like how balanced the schedule is right now, and that everybody's playing each other in an equal amount. It kind of gives you an opportunity if you're living in Boston, and you're going to see Shohei Ohtani in Boston this year, and that is cool. And I kind of dig that.
Right.
Yeah.
I can see that from the fan perspective. Another coworker of mine said the same thing. Like, oh, I would like to see Ohtani, and and I get that and stuff. As a fan, you want to see that guy if they come to your city once a year and you got that chance. So I definitely understand that. Okay, one more thing for you, Cody. Then this is an age-old question. Should baseball shorten the season?
No.
Okay.
Why? I honestly,
because. Well, I don't know. I guess I'm looking at it from health. It doesn't really matter because they've been doing it 162 games for a long time. So you just wonder if there could be.
Yeah, my issue is actually not even health, believe it or not, and it's such a stupid issue. It really is. I freely admit what I'm about to say is stupid, but Major League Baseball cares so much about its records. Its fans care so much about its records. And now you're going to literally create something that forces an asterisk on records. And I don't feel like having the fight with idiot fans all the time.
Yeah, that's a good way. I never thought of that. I think for me, the biggest thing is I hate seeing baseball in at the end of March, April, when it's still freezing in the north.
I get that. I get.
That it's kind of stupid. I mean, March 28th, you're going to have baseball games? That's ridiculous, man.
You remember, what was it, the late 90s, early 2000s, where they used to start opening day the first 3 weeks would be either south or west or in.
Correct. Yeah. They would open up because.
No, just give me retractable
March
roofs.
29th in Cleveland, where it's fucking snowing, or Colorado. Well, Colorado could snow anytime.
Speaking of retractable roofs, I don't know if either of you saw the proposal for the Vegas stadium. That shit looks ridiculous, man. It looks like the Sydney Opera House.
Yes, it does. Only worse because this one has a weird view of New York, of all the fucking things to have a view of.
Yeah, a fake New York.
Complete moron built this.
That's ridiculous.
Shit. Oh.
Amen on that. I agree with you on that. That's absurd.
Congratulations,
New York
Yankees
skyline.
And Mets. You're apparently at home when you go to Vegas.
Yeah, that sucks. Wow.
I'm sorry, but that does look like it was a really cool stadium compared. I mean, even the White Sox one, the ones that they drew up, that looked pretty good too, finally. So.
I'm interested by the look. I don't hate the video board concept. I think that's actually kind of cool and unique.
That was very interesting.
Yeah. And it's not a really retractable roof. It's more like a SoFi scenario where it's kind of a set roof that is opened up. I kind of like that too. I just can't get over the fact that you are forcing everyone to tear down the Tropicana, to have no freeway access to this stadium, to create the biggest logjam in the history of Earth on Las Vegas Boulevard on the corner where this was going.
They're not going to have an expressway?
As of now, no. It's right next to the 15 freeway, and that's going to be one entrance in. That's bad and stupid. And if you're going to put it on the Strip, at least give my ass a view of the Strip, not just New York. That's what an idiot would do.
Yeah.
Hence the
A's.
Hence the show. Idiot's Guide to Sports Fandom. Good one, Cody. That was good, man. That was good. It sucks too because the A's are such a. I mean, I like the A's just for what they are. I mean, it's sick uniforms. It's tradition. I mean, come on. And they're going to be this like laughable. I hate everything that happens in Vegas. Honestly, I don't. It's all just. It's frustrating. Like the Super Bowl was a joke. Oh, I love fucking flyover for a dome stadium. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, good God.
You got to do a flyover. If you don't, a bunch of people are going to all pissed off for no reason.
But nobody saw the flyover because it's a dome stadium.
No, I agree with you, but I know I guarantee you, if they didn't do the flyover, you know how many people are like, I can't believe how woke the NFL is, and I'm gonna have to deal with those morons for the next 3 weeks.
100% true.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. It's my red-blooded American right to have a flyover for the Super Bowl,
of which I fully support. Just who got?
Just let me see it. Because I've been at Notre Dame Stadium when they've done the flyover, and it's awesome. But at Dome Stadium, I see it on Jumbotron. I'm like, what? Who cares? I mean, anyway, this is a baseball show. Sorry.
All good. It's all good. Fucking Cody Decker.
Yeah.
So where can we listen to your shows? Obviously, you got, a couple of them.
Well, one every single day, Monday through Friday, noon to 3 Eastern on Mad Dog Sports Radio. You can check me out with me and Michelle Beadle and Decker. We love doing this show. It is an absolute blast. Give us a call.
It sounds awesome.
She's boss. I like Michelle Beadle a lot. She came down on somebody a couple weeks ago, and I loved it, man. She was right. It was good on her.
Beadle is one of the coolest, most badass people you could ever meet in your life, and I'm the most spoiled son of a bitch ever that I get to work with her. And then coming straight off of working with Craig Carton to go work with her, like I've just been a glutton of just ridiculousness. So it's been pretty sweet there. And obviously you can check me out on Saturdays on Bet for the Cycle on the BetQL network. That's also noon to 4. That's live. We have a great time doing that show. It's me and Rob Brown. And other things in the pipeline that I can't say yet.
All right. Well, congratulations.
Hopefully, I'll be able to see you on TV at some point.
You'll definitely see me on MLB Network. You'll definitely see me.
Oh, say hi to
other places.
What's her Shoddy for me?
You know what's awesome. Funny? Somehow I've never met her. I've heard she's great.
Oh yeah,
somehow
she's awesome.
I've just never crossed paths with her, but I've been told that she is as cool as can be. But everybody at MLB Network is awesome. Like literally.
Yeah, no, that's a good network. It's definitely a good network.
We've been on so long, it went from sunny to dark in my room, and I am now in darkness. So
you're welcome.
There you go.
Ratings, baby, ratings.
For Dennis Stover, Cody Decker, I'm evanjthomas. This is again an Idiot's Guide to Sports Fandom. Make sure you check us out on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. We are all over there. Cody, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Cody.
No, thank you.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Y'all, and rock on.